experience. Moms talk about things that affect moms in general. The mommy entrepreneurs, we are the moms that handle business, and that means a lot. Remember, Entrepremommies.
Hello, welcome to the Entrepremommies Show. I am Tiffany Tracey, aka the Resellqueen.
And I'm Nicole Flamer. How you doing?
How are you doing this week, Nikki?
Oh, as soon as we go live, right?
Of course, that's how that works. Don't you know?
I am doing fabulous, except I can't find my phone. Right? There we go.
I see you on Facebook.
I know, right?
Yes, because that's the best time to call me.
I'm doing good. Let me see. What can I say? I can't say anything. Life is good. Can't complain.
That's good.
Yeah.
How are business and sales?
Business and sales they're kind of plateaued. This is typically a slow time for me. So, I'm just I am trying to decrease and come out of the drop shipping business model, and
Okay.
I'm focusing more on my coaching, my Live Love Lux, my other business. So, and that's not making any money yet. But I am I'm working on I got a couple of things that I'm working on to bring some income in through that business. But I like that one. That one's more fulfilling. I enjoy that one more. I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy the whole concept of law of attraction and manifestation. So that's where I'm gonna put my eggs, and I probably will keep the other store, but I'm changing what I'm offering. So, and I have another idea that I'm working on too, and it won't be a drop ship model. It'll be a retail store, and I'm just starting the beginning processes of that. So right now I'm like, my businesses are in a little bit of a flux, but it's a good thing because it's like now that I have like the security of, my home and stuff, like now I can focus on, okay, what are my streams of income going to be based off of my new situation? Because I realized, like, I went through a time period after I moved into the house where I wasn't sure what to do. Like, I wasn't sure what my next step was, I didn't feel as excited about my previous business. And so I was like, I don't know, like, I started questioning everything that I was doing. And then I realized that, it's funny to have this realization, but I realized that I'm not the same person that I was that created those businesses. Like, I created those businesses out of kind of a survival mindset. Like, this is all I can do. Because that was pretty much all I could do at the time because of my children and my circumstances. So I made these businesses to kind of be around and support me while I support them. So now I'm in a different position where, even though I still have to have some sort of flexibility, like, I don't think I'll be going back into the workforce per se, but I'll always probably be an entrepreneur to some extent. Now that I'm in a different position, I'm like, okay, well, things should change. I mean, that's natural. I don't have the same needs and desires to fulfill that I do now. Now I have different things that, I can pursue. So that was a bit of a wake-up call. It's funny because I felt like I was spiraling out of control, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But then I'm like, nah, it's really not that. Like, that makes sense to me now that I things should change. Things aren't the same. So.
Oh, that's good. Like, you come to your realization.
Of
where you are at the point where you are today. Like, for me, business, last couple weeks, actually probably like the last month or so, I've been spending more money on awareness and opportunity. I'll say investments, opportunity, because you know me. I see a new coin come out, I'm gonna go for it. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, yay, good job. You did a good job on that one. Just go a little bit higher so you can sell it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've done that. My sales this month have actually been, I looked at what it were last month. They've actually been higher this month than they were last year this time. Yeah. Which I expect because I did a pivot of the products that I sell. And also, as you personally know, I'm getting ready to try and move on out of this crib that I'm at. So I have tried to streamline my inventory because I don't want to have to move a lot of inventory. So I am now dealing with just wholesale stuff. I'm not doing a lot of liquidation items like I was doing before, just to get myself prepared to know that I'm going to have to move. And you may say, oh, well, you already have a storage and everything, but I'm going to have to move stuff out of storage. Yeah. Because more than likely, I'm going to be moving 2 counties over.
Oh, okay.
Which is in where I happen to live. The next county is like a half hour away. 2 counties away is about an hour 15 minutes away. Okay. So it doesn't make sense for me to have my storage out here. I'm going to have to move everything. So we've been going through that as I've talked to you about. We're going through the process of looking at houses in certain areas. They're like, I saw a house. It had on the listing that they were having an open house on that particular Saturday. It might have been a Monday or Tuesday. Yeah. I got notification like on the app telling me, oh, this open house has been canceled. Go look at it. It's because it's pending. Right. So even before it gets to an open house, the houses are going away. Yeah. So it's a real competitive market right now. And I am we're trying to move as quickly as possible. Like today, we just went to go see some houses and trying to figure out which houses make the most sense for us. We are going to be, what's the word I want to say? We're not going to get everything we want. We're going to do compromise. And I'm okay with compromising. Okay. I am okay with that. Like I can live with that. But there's certain things I just can't live with. So the things that I can live with and go, all right, I don't like it, but you know what? I'll deal with it. Right. I'm willing to do that. So we're hopefully by the time we come back from our break, we're like, hey, new house. See the new setup? Yeah, that'll be good stuff. So like what you did. That's right, right. Yes. New white background, right? Right. Girl, you got a new background every time. I know. I'm in different rooms and moving through. I'm in my office now, actually. So for real? It's a lot cleaner than it was when I first showed it. Yeah. Well, it's the process. Yeah. It's such a process, So, and for us, we're trying to make our decision like, okay, this is not a forever home. So that's okay. So you're like, okay, do we make forever home decisions? Do we make a 5-year plan decision? And that's kind of where we're at. And all of that is important because I am working towards what I'm going to be doing, not just with selling online, but I do other things. I've been my goal has been to knock out 2 ebooks or 2 I call them, they're all ebooks, but the planners is to knock out 2 a week, which really is not that ambitious. Right. But because I'm trying to make sure that I don't have any issues with them and I'm still getting a comfort level with them, that's my goal, is to knock out 2 a week so that I can publish them on Amazon. Yeah. because the name of the game is the more you put out there, the more that you sell.
That's
and
true. Yeah.
one thing that we're learning in this environment is not viral, digital products are king.
Yeah.
It's the digital products that really make us at this point. So that's kind of one of the things that I am looking at. And the other thing I can talk about, I am finishing up going through the scholarship program by Meta. So Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook, has a scholarship program for minorities, because it's not just for Black people, it's also for Latinx persons as well. And it is a scholarship for digital marketing. And you go through their program, and then they will pay for your testing for the exam.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I didn't realize there was a whole proctor exam for this sucker. Yeah, so they will pay for your exam, and then you can kind of add that on your repertoire and say, oh, I can do this, I can do that.
Right. I love it. Okay.
It's really funny. I find a lot of times, especially, I do a lot of things for people that I don't charge.
Right. Yes.
Me too. People call me all the time to say, I want to start a business and do this. They call me because they know I know how.
Right.
I don't charge for that. It's just a regular conversation. We talk, yada, yada, yada. But now I kind of also have a thing where I can say, if you need help with the social media, I can provide that for you for a fee.
Yeah.
Say, this is what I can provide.
Yeah.
And I can do that now without just being, Tiff, my go-to person to ask about business about. Now I can say, I have a certification now behind me to do that, and so I'm not sure how well I want to market that yet.
Right.
I'm still looking at, is that going to be just one of those back pocket things that I offer to people that I know or I encounter, or is that going to be like a whole full-fledged, I'm going to talk about digital marketing all the time? And I don't know if I can do that, because I have other things that I want to talk about too. So
yeah. It's good. It's a good tool to have up your sleeve. I mean, it's definitely, if you ever look at any job offerings, that is like one of the major job positions out there, social media marketing, digital marketing, content. I mean, that's become a legitimate job. So, you might as well get paid for it if you're helping people with it. I always find I get people who really don't know the value of it yet. And, they want it, but it's like, I'm going to say they don't necessarily want to pay for it, but for the time and energy that you're going to put into it, you have to really balance out. My whole thing, like when I help people with this, is I want to create something that they can do themselves, because most likely they're not going to want to necessarily pay me for the next year to update their content and stuff like that, because then I have to fit them into a schedule, what I'm going to charge them, what my time is worth may not be what they want to pay. So I offer like two options. I'm like, let me help you do it yourself. Most people want that until they start trying to do it, and then they realize they would rather have somebody else do it for them.
Well, and I think a lot of people, they know how to do what they know how to do. Like if I was a baker, I would know how to bake.
Right.
I don't expect a person that knows how to bake to also know digital marketing.
Right. Yes. Right. Yeah.
Like I don't expect that, because and I say baker, I don't know why I keep saying bakers, but to me, bakers are very easy.
Yes.
To market.
Yes.
Food is easy to market.
Yes. Yeah.
All it's about is about angles.
Yeah.
And because people don't realize you can do a recipe online, show people through a reel or I wouldn't say Facebook Live, but more like a reel or TikTok. You do recipes work. And the thing is, some people are like, oh, but I want to give away my recipe because then people are going to make it. I want to make it. No, you want to be the aficionado of food when it comes to certain types of things, because now when you come out with whatever, if you come out with a spice, if you come out with products and you use your products in your demonstrations, now it's sold.
Right.
If you have a cookbook, now it's sold.
Right.
You know, like I would tell, like, I think of, I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, Prima Donna. Okay, Prima Donna. This chick is so genius.
Okay.
She does video tutorials on different recipes.
Okay.
And what she'll do, she's smart. She knows how to go to any post about food in our community, and she'll make a coupon code for the situation and say 10% off Prima Donna cookbook, so your food don't look like this. She was marketing so much that she was on Versus. And, you know, in the comments, they blocked her.
Oh, wow.
Because she was doing 15-20% off her cookbook. She has a pressure cooker. She also has an air fryer. I know how she's doing it. She's doing private label.
She's doing private label.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm mad at her. I'm mad at her.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. She's doing private label. I know how she's doing it.
Yeah.
But that's genius.
Yeah.
But you know how much time it takes out of your day to do that?
Yeah. She probably has an assistant. Yeah.
Oh, she ain't doing this on her own.
Yeah.
She can't be. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, there are certain things in your business that you are going to be the best at, but there's also certain things in your business you might need to hire or get training at. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So
yeah, I agree with you on that. It's just that most of the people that come for help are in that weird stage where they're making some money and they're trying to decide whether to go to the next level or not, and not realizing necessarily that they will need to hire people in order to go to the next level. And then they come to me and I'm like, you know, and I guess I need a business coach so they can help me navigate that area so that I'm marketing to a higher, you know, somebody who's just a little bit more experienced than, you know, so that are out of that thing. Because there's so many people that
I did not mean for that to come on the screen.
Yes. There's so many people out here doing side hustles, and, you know, sometimes it's really profitable for them, and they're, you know, they want a website, they want, you know, they want a presence online somehow. And yeah, so it's an interesting place where we are right now. And I'm more kind of like, I want to sit and see how it all pans out, because things are changing like every day. I mean, just my favorite, like Google Analytics. Oh my gosh, they like change every couple of minutes.
I don't even look at that anymore. Like, I mean, I know I should look at it a little bit more, but I don't.
Yeah,
like,
it drives me crazy because it's like, as soon as I like master one format, it's like, oh, we're changing it again. And I'm like, okay, how am I?
And I don't know why. I don't know why they keep tweaking it, because once, like you say, once you master it, and I'm just like, okay, I figured that part out. I see what I need to do there. But now things keep on changing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think they do it to keep you on your toes so you don't get like complacent with it. If they change it, then you always have to come back, log in, and look at what they changed. But you know, the thing is, though, they create a secondary market of these apps and agencies that will take your Google Analytics and make it more palatable for you.
Right.
So I've seen a number of those, but they know their value because they charge a lot too. And Google Analytics is free. So it's like, why am I going to pay you $900? You know, I'd rather sit and learn. So,
right. I know what you're saying. I feel you.
Yeah. So.
Well. So, Nikki, we have seen the news.
Oh gosh, right? Yes, it's time.
I don't even know. Okay, if you've been living under a rock, because hell, I ain't gonna even lie to you. I knew that the Oscars was coming on Sunday. The only reason why I even turned to it is because I heard the rumor about Beyonce.
Oh, what was the rumor about? See, I didn't even hear that.
Beyonce opened the show.
Okay.
She gave a performance. Apparently, she has a song in the movie King Richard, which is about Venus and Serena's daddy.
Okay.
She has the song, which I don't even know the song, but I was like, I want to see Beyonce perform because know, I'm not a beehiver, but you know, she put on a good performance. Okay,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I want to just see that.
Right.
I think I saw that the opening monologue, which I thought was really nice with it because it was nice to see 3 hosts.
Yeah.
It was Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall.
Okay.
They had a nice little funny opening monologue. I think they went to the next category. And I was like, what else is on TV?
Right.
I said, what else is on TV? Did that. Went to bed.
Right.
While I'm in bed, my phone is popping. Okay. Notification after notification. And I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
Now, my husband ain't gonna know because he don't watch this stuff nor care.
Right.
And so I see on my phone it says Will Smith slaps Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, whatever. Because I'm thinking, I didn't think of that it was what it was. Mm-hmm. And then as it starts coming out more and more and more, I saw the video. The first time I saw the video, I only saw the video of it happening. Right. I thought it was a bit.
Yes.
I thought it was something comedic that they worked out. Mm-hmm. And then I saw the part afterwards where he walked back to his seat and told him to keep his wife's name out his effing mouth.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had no mic. Lupita's face behind him was like, oh,
yes,
this ninja ain't playing.
Yes.
Like her face went from okay to this ain't a joke.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, so this wasn't part of the act.
Right.
And then I saw, you see Chris Rock, he just keeps on going.
Yeah. He
took the hit on the chin like a champ.
Yeah.
And then the thing that's kind of sad to me though is he was introducing the award for Best Documentary. Mm-hmm. And Questlove won that award because he put together, and I feel bad because I haven't seen the whole thing, but he put together a documentary about, I think there was like a whole month or a couple weeks. I think it's in the Bronx. Okay. In like the 70s where they had concerts every weekend. Okay. And they were free concerts for the community. And they couldn't get them on TV. Okay. But these were some good performers. Like you got Gladys Knight in the Pips. Like this ain't no B-side people. These are people that you like, oh, they got to see them for free. Yeah. And he has and it's not just showing the performances, but it's also showing, people talking about the performances, why this was so major, and also the fact they couldn't get it on TV. Right. So this guy had the rights to him, and he literally just had the film like in his basement. And so Questlove went through the process, the pay for it, and he's looking at this film, and he's like, everyone needs to see this. Right. Yeah. Because they also talk about what was happening during that time. It's during the civil rights era. Mm-hmm. So there was so much history going on, and apparently one of the days that the concert happened was even the moon landing. Oh, wow. Okay. If I'm right, I think it was the moon landing is either the moon landing or it was something going on in space where everyone was in front of their TV. Mm-hmm. But over here, everyone was at the free concert. Okay. That
sounds interesting. I might just check that out.
Yeah, I believe it's on Hulu.
Okay. Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. Okay. Well, I know it was in theaters for a minute, and I believe it's on Hulu. Like I said, it's very long though. So but I haven't sat through. It's one of those things where I want to enjoy. I don't want it to just be on. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he won. You know how major that is for someone like him to
Yeah.
win an Oscar?
Yeah.
He's the drummer of the Roots.
Right.
You know, not like that's not a big feat, but it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I do remember when they was on South Street.
Right.
Yes. Okay. I remember when they used to be on South Street.
Right.
Okay. That's how old we are.
Yeah. After you hit the clubs, you go to the diner and they're like, hey, there's Questlove. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. So I remember that. So I'm like, wow, look how far he has come. Right. And that just messed up his whole moment because meanwhile, everyone's reeling from what just happened between Will and Chris.
They're wondering, yeah.
You know, and then it's like, okay, I don't know. You give your take.
Well, my experience is similar to yours. I knew the Oscars was Sunday because We Don't Talk About Bruno was supposed to be performed. So, and that has been like a staple song that's been playing for the last couple of months in our house. So I was like, oh, well, I want to see that. That would be entertaining. But I forgot. And I actually went to bed too. I forgot all about it and went to bed. And then for some reason, I woke up around like 2:30 in the morning and I looked at my phone and, I always look at my, what's going on in the news and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I saw something about the slap that the slap that didn't help the Oscars or something like that. I was like, what is that about? And so then I go and look further and I see that it's like, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. I'm like, what in the world? I was like, this has got to be like a skit. This has to be staged. And so I looked at the clip. I looked at the censored clip, the one that actually played. And then I looked at the uncensored clip. And after I saw the uncensored clip, I was like, oh, that looked kind of real. That looks kind of real. He looks really upset. And, immediately I felt like, seeing his reaction, I was kind of like, oh, well, I can see why he was upset about his wife and, her hair loss issues. And I'm like, well, maybe she's really sensitive about it. And maybe, because I know she's talked about it on her platform before. Right. And I'm like, well, maybe she's up crying and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like as a husband and wife.
Right. You're vulnerable with your partner.
Right. We don't necessarily see the behind the scenes Jada and how, and maybe he does, and he's like, I ain't going home and having to put up with the, you know what I mean? Like, let me go defend my wife's honor. Yeah. So I was just like, okay. So I'm sitting there, and then I'm thinking back and forth about all this, and then I'm like, I'm finding out about the secondary stories. Like, this was produced by a Black man. This is probably the most colorful Oscars that they've had in years.
Very diverse.
Like, oh, so we gotta act a fool when we're on display,
And that was the first thing I said to my husband. I said, they ain't gonna let us in the building back.
I know, right? They're like, see, that's why you wasn't here before.
Right. Remember Oscar So White?
Right.
All right, they let us back in.
Yeah.
They don't let us in no more.
Right.
And it's not the people you thought. These are like 50-some-year-old men.
Yes, like
it wasn't like volatile people
friend.
that you would think of like associating with this type of behavior.
Yeah, I was like, Will has surpassed Kanye. Like, everybody look at Kanye crazy. Now everybody looking at Will crazy. Like, what is your problem? And it's like there is a skit that Dave Chappelle used to do on the Chappelle Show when keeping it real goes wrong.
Ooh.
You remember that?
Oh, yes.
And that's what came to my mind. I was like, yeah, when keeping it real goes wrong, because it's like it's a skit. For those of you who've never watched the Chappelle Show, it's a skit where he profiles like almost like a documentary style.
It's so perfect.
It's so funny. You gotta look it up.
Funny.
Look it up
I
on
love
YouTube
the one with
if
the
you haven't
girl.
seen it.
I don't like no one playing on my phone.
Right. Yes. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, Will Smith was keeping it real, but it's kind of wrong. It was too much. It was, Yeah. So and I have different viewpoints. And then he wins the Oscar, right? So
like less than an hour later, he wins the Oscar.
Yes.
And then like his speech was basically this is the reason why.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, y'all, but this is the reason why. Not I'm sorry to Chris.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm
He
sorry
did
to
not apologize to him.
He didn't even say that man's name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. This is
Mhm.
the reason why. And it just like we all know that saying, hurt people.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know Will like this.
Mm-hmm.
And doing a little bit of research, because I do like to have a little bit to know about what we talk about.
Right.
I got to hear an interview from Will's mom and his sister.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they both were like, we ain't never seen him like this.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa,
his mom
that's
said, that's a
insightful.
Will I've never seen.
Okay.
And she said,
Okay.
Will is a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to make everyone happy. And his sister said something to the effect of that they have had conversations about things that he's going through in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And he has decided to keep a smiling face.
Right.
But it's hard for him to do that.
Yeah.
And so that led me to think, okay, so I did buy his book. He had a book come out about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yes. Right? Okay. I've seen that.
I did not finish it. All right.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't finish it was because I was getting irritated with the news, because I felt like the whole book was being displayed on the news, and I didn't need to read it.
Right. Okay.
But I only started probably the first 5 chapters.
Okay.
I can tell you from what I've read, he literally starts the book saying that he believes his whole life he's been a coward.
Oh no. Okay. Okay.
So thinking about that, okay, now granted, I don't know how the book ends because I didn't finish it. Full transparency. But he starts the book talking about how his whole life he feels like a coward. And he feels like a coward because he watched his mom be physically and mentally abused. Right. And in his mind, the 9-year-old boy in him felt that there was something more that he could have done. Right. And he even talks about how mad he was at his father, even into adulthood, about what he witnessed his father do. Right. Now, I haven't gotten to the point where they talked about they had like a reconciliation before his passing. I haven't gotten to that, but I heard about it in the news. It's kind of why I don't like reading books and hearing about it. Yeah. I want to be able to discover it on my own. Mm-hmm. So I kind of put that book to the side and said, all right, that's not going to be my nighttime reading no more. Right. Because, and I'll get to it at another time when it's not in the news. Right. So I kind of forgot and been doing other stuff. But he, in my opinion, has some emotional issues. Yeah. With those type of situations. Mm-hmm. So if he feels like he couldn't protect his mommy, now he has his wife. Mm-hmm. He probably feels he didn't protect her in the media from the whole entanglement. Yeah. Because in my opinion, now this is my opinion and just off of, my top listening, watching Natasha K and them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This didn't start out because Jada was on the side. Right. This started out because he was on the side. Mm-hmm. And Jada was like, oh, is that what we doing now? Okay, then cool. Yeah. I'm going to get myself something. Yeah. Yeah. But then she's the one that gets ridiculed through the media mm-hmm. because of the whole entanglements in August Alsina. Right. Yeah. He couldn't protect her from that. Right.
Maybe he didn't want to either, though.
I don't know.
I remember that Red Table Talk where him and her were talking about it.
Some red eyes, girl.
Girl, yes, he was he looked so hurt. And it's like, it's hard to, people have, there's two things, right? The first thing is that watching that and watching their interaction, they love each other. I mean, I'm gonna tie it into the title with the brand. Their family is their brand. Their marriage is their brand. Even with an quote unquote open marriage, it's still part of their brand. It's like these people are exceptional at what they do, and so therefore we allow them, we the public allow them to be a little freaky, right? So it's so we understand this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in watching this, they had to address it publicly because the guy put the song out, basically bragging about being with Jada, and so they had to publicly address it because there was no way not to address it.
Right.
And I give them kudos for even caring enough to care to address it, but it's part of their brand, so it's like they almost had to. This being public, elevated, evolved family that they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was hurt. And I think my viewpoint prior to that was that Will was kind of that guy who does what he wants, and she's married to him, and whatever, she accepts it. It flipped for me after watching that interview. It flipped for me to the fact that, oh no, maybe not. Maybe he does what he does, but maybe it's actually in response to her, to who she is. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's a pant wearer woman. She wears the pants in the family. I believe she runs the whole household. I think in public, for the brand,
Right.
she
Right.
respects her husband. She honors her husband. Well, in their way, right?
That's
But
dangerous.
I think behind the scenes, she's the one that tells him what to do. And I feel like that this incident at the Oscars was a depiction of that, because we didn't see the few seconds in between the joke, because the joke came out, he was laughing. She was rolling her eyes.
Right. And
then
see,
they cut to Chris.
Now
Yeah.
I did get to see some clips
Okay.
before the joke.
Yeah.
Because so I'm thinking he was still laughing at the joke prior.
Oh, okay. Because I thought about that too. I was like, maybe
And then because I was on Twitter, girl. I was seeing everything.
Well, the only reason I don't think that is that she's rolling her eyes at the same time as he's laughing.
But I also feel that laugh that he was giving was fake.
It was a nervous laugh.
I feel like it reads fake to me.
Uh-huh.
The one I saw, because he was like, huh. Yeah, oh, you think it's funny. And then you see Jada with her response of,
yeah,
like, here we go again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like a switch went off.
Yes, it was night and day. And and I wondered the interaction between the two of them, like when they cut to Chris, like was she giving eyes to Will, like
right.
If
it was my husband and I see him getting ready to do something, I'm going to intervene and be like,
thinking she's egging him on, like, go handle that.
I'm going to stand up, and especially if it's something like that, something involving his work. I'm not going to have my husband do something that gets him fired,
right,
or makes him unemployable. I'll say that, okay?
Yeah.
Because I know my husband. Yeah. Right. Like I was playing, like, for instance, I was playing around with him. I was like, would you smack somebody for me? And he was like, I'll kill somebody for you. And I was like, okay, this was just joking.
Right.
Like, I was just
kidding. We're gonna work on that.
I was kidding. I was just, as a jokey joke, like what happened here. And he was like, no, I really mean that. And I was like, he was like, I'll go to jail. And I'm like, wow, he said that so matter of fact.
Right. Like he's never had to think about it at all.
Like, it was like, yo, I'll kill somebody for you.
Yeah.
But sort of the same respect as I would be about my kids. You touch my kid, I'll do the time.
That's right.
I will do all that time.
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't gonna do it happily, but I'll
Right.
I might try to CSI something.
Yeah.
But you touch one of my kids.
Yeah.
Okay, that there's a switch.
Yeah.
That's that mama bear, but and I talked about it just a little bit with my husband because he doesn't really hear about this stuff. He doesn't hear about any of the hot topics, stuff like that.
Right.
And he was like, so he just went on the stage? I was like, yeah. He was like, on live TV? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, there's something else but more than what he said.
Yeah.
because he was like, you can take someone to the side and be like, let me talk to you.
Right.
Which I would have imagined, would have been the way that we would have talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would think that would have been the better move, because this tainted that whole night.
Yeah.
Because, I got a couple questions, but like, if you won, there were some things that actually happened that night that were historical.
Right.
It's funny. There's only been 2 Latino winners of, I think, is it Best Actress? Of Best
Supporting Actress.
Is it Best? I think it might be Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah.
One is Rita Moreno.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was the girl that won that night.
Who played the
and it's for the same role.
Yes.
Which is hilarious to me. So that's the only role Latinos can win.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only role. It's for the same role.
Right.
Okay. That's historic.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all right. If you are Entrepremommy, you understand. We got you. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a historic thing. You had a woman of color who is part of the LGBTQ plus community.
Right. That's right.
Openly about it. People ain't telling people. Okay. She's open. Okay. About that. That's a major thing. Yeah. Questlove win.
Mm-hmm.
You also had, I think it's the first deaf actor win.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's actually only now 2 people that are deaf.
Yeah.
That have won an Oscar.
Right.
So it was a lot of first and diverse things happening that night.
Yeah.
And then of course you have Will winning his Best Actor.
Right.
That night. It could have been so much more celebration of that and being inclusive of everyone.
Right.
Than the slap heard around the world.
Right.
Because it's going to be like, oh, you won an Oscar? Yeah, the year Will Smith went up there and smacked her. Oh.
Well, I'm going to be the devil's advocate, and I'm going to say that I still feel, well, I'm also a conspiracy nut, but I still feel that it's slightly scripted. The more I watch the clip, the more I feel like the Oscars, we all know, has declining viewership. When we were kids, it's like, oh, the Oscars are on. The whole family would sit in front of the TV. We'd watch who won, blah, blah, blah. It's a big deal. In later years, I think because maybe how media and content is taken in nowadays, it's not as big a deal. I mean, even over the last 2 years, people aren't even really going to the movie theaters anymore because of COVID. So shows like the Oscars are definitely taking a hit because of that. So I feel like, looking at the marketing masterminds, Chris Rock, Will Smith, and I don't know much about the guy, the producer who produced the show. I mean, it's not going to help this year for it to be watched, but next year, Nikki might come at the beginning of the show with popcorn.
What's about to happen now?
Just to see the effects of it. I mean, of course, something like that will probably never happen again. I mean, but it gave it some sort of relevance. It gave it some sort of relevance culturally. I mean, there's probably a lot of people under the age of 30 who don't really consider the Oscars watch-worthy, who may now tune in just in case.
Right.
I also think like, not knowing Will Smith, Will Smith is a prankster. You know what I mean? He's somebody who, like, even though he was crying, I mean, it could have been a whole bunch of emotion going forth, but like, if you hear about somebody getting slapped midway through the Oscars, I wonder how many people did tune in after. If it
did help the ratings.
It did help the ratings.
The ratings did go up, but they are still down from previous years.
Yeah.
So because people were still tuning in, because once it hit Twitter, people were like, "What the heck going on? Let me turn TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Right.
that's the thing about the Oscars. They stay on so long.
They are. It's definitely a long drawn out.
But I think
Oh,
reason
and then
why
just one last
Go
point
ahead.
to the whole. I still think it's scripted.
Okay.
Everybody's talking about it now. So
Right?
they are getting a lot of attention. The organization of the Oscars, the Academy, is getting a lot of attention, way more than they probably got in the past. Everybody's talking about Will Smith. Everybody's talking about Chris Rock. Everybody's talking about, how Denzel went and did this. I mean, for Hollywood, which has probably taken one of the biggest hits from the pandemic, this has probably injected lifeblood into that. People are, you said Will came out with a book. I want to read the book. I've seen it and walked past it several times. Now I'm like, maybe I'm gonna go pick that up. Go find out. Let me go psychologically examine this dude.
Right. We're going to analyze him. Well,
so, yeah.
He is going to be talking about the incident. Guess where?
Red Table Talks.
Of course.
Oh, yes.
Of course. He's going to be talking about the incident.
Oh, and she's going to get record views.
Record
views.
And it's going to be the first show when they come back. So one of the things that kept happening, and I'm going to, hopefully, here it goes, there was a whole bunch of memes and Twitter posts.
The memes were delightful. Yes.
To me, anytime anything happens, the best thing that happens are the memes.
Yes.
Now I do have to say something though. Where the hell was security?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will Smith's that safe. They were like, we don't have to worry about him.
Because
we don't sit up here by P. Diddy.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. All right, Nikki, you and I, we've been to church, right?
Yes.
Let me tell you something about the Black church.
Yeah.
The Black usher board?
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you about Black ushers when you go to church. You ain't getting on the pulpit unless you're ordained. You go in, they got their hand behind the back, they got the fan and the program, and they point you to where you sit.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to get up in the middle of the service to be able to walk up on the pulpit? No, you are not.
Mm-mm.
Okay? Not with the ushers that I grew up with.
Right.
Okay? That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So where was security to pull him off? And then you hear all these different reports saying that all the members of, I guess, either the board were all around and they couldn't get together to talk about. There was a conversation of, do we tell him to leave? Which I'm like, Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift.
Right.
Or he didn't hit her.
No.
He just interrupted her and said, I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had the best video of all time.
Right.
Or whatever he said.
Yeah.
They kicked his behind and his girlfriend out. And that's MTV.
Yeah.
So why did nothing like that happen to Will?
Right. Yeah.
I can't.
You see no security, not even after he slapped him and walked back to his seat. And I thought he was going to be escorted out. I thought I was going to see somebody. No. Oh, that was my favorite. Pete, you're going to be next. I like that one.
Yeah, I'll let it run and play. But look, everybody hates Chris.
Yeah.
They said, it wasn't Will, it was Mike Lowry.
Yeah.
Like these, and okay, so I love the one that talked about now, okay, here we go. Now, this meme here tells me why I feel Chris Rock is a professional.
Yeah.
Because even though it's one of the memes that I still have here that's going to come up, it's March.
Yeah.
Chris Rock could have been like, dude, it's March. It ain't August yet.
Yeah.
I can think of that, and I am not a professional comedian.
Yeah.
So Chris Rock showed restraint because all he had to say was, dude, it's March. Don't get this mad. It's not August yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He could have came back with that.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He kept.
Yeah.
He was a little off himself for a minute
Yeah.
because he was actually there, to present an award. He knew what he was there for, so he was, he was off for a minute, but he went right back to what he was supposed to do.
Right. Yeah.
So I have to commend Chris on that. And what's really funny is no one's talking about him. No one's saying this.
I don't think people know where to place him in all this because, on the one hand, you got the alopecia crowd who like, oh, the black woman hair crowd. You know what I mean? You got that crowd that are like, he had no right to be calling her out, like making fun of her. I see that one as cute.
Right. And, well, and that's the other thing too. He did a documentary on black women's hair, which I thought was very well produced.
Yeah.
I thought it was very well produced, that documentary. So one would think that he would understand that condition. Now it's been reported that he didn't know.
That's what I heard too, that he didn't know. And, he just thought it was a style choice for her. Yeah.
Now we do have a comment from, I'm going to put it on the screen here and see if it shows up. There we go. BSP says, everyone is entitled to their freedom of speech, but no one is entitled to invade someone's personal boundaries. I can agree with that. I agree with that because I put it like this. I understand the why, but I don't agree with the what.
Right.
I can understand why you did it, but I don't agree with what you did.
Right.
If it really truly wasn't something that was staged, and this truly was an issue that you had with Chris, you have enough power and influence to say to somebody, when he get off the stage, I need to talk to him.
Right.
And you take him to the side, and you say, even if you needed to come to blows, you take him to the side and say, look, that's the last comment you're going to say about my wife and her head.
Right.
My wife is suffering through something. You will not disrespect my wife that way.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that was the more appropriate. I think because we're so used to seeing the corny Will, the nerdy Will.
Yeah.
Oh, this one was the best. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the last one.
I like these memes you saw.
Yeah.
These are great.
Okay, that's not this one. Okay. This one. This one was too much for me.
Yeah, we're just
Will Smith attacked me after the Oscars. And it's juicy. Juicy, as Dave Chappelle calls him. Jesse Smollett, for those who are listening and not watching. This meme, it just took me out because oh my God, here he come back in it.
Yeah.
But it makes me so mad because it's one of those things, when your mom say you don't act bad in front of company, they just let us back into the Oscars. Right. Will Packer produced it. Now, Will Packer is a Hollywood producer. He was in charge of the movie Girls Trip.
Yes. Okay.
A whole bunch of other movies, like movies that you see Gary Owen in, because he always puts Gary Owen. He always puts Gary Owen in his movies. I know they're friends. I don't know them, but I know that they're friends. Okay.
Right.
He's a white comedian that panders to black audiences.
Right.
Whole nother. That's another show. Anyway, this was like a celebration. It was very diverse. It was something that we were like, yay! And then, nope. Here comes this. And now I will say, we go back to this. I will say Janet Hubert, who is the original Aunt Viv. Yeah. She's like on Will's side.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, wow, for real? Okay. But I told y'all that was hilarious. And then, this one is too much. And then these are about people. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went to this one. Let me show you. Yeah, girl, these are just too funny. I can't even explain all of them for those of you that are listening to us. Like, you have to watch us on YouTube. Look at Lupita's face.
Yes, Lupita.
That's why I didn't feel it was staged, because Lupita's face looks like why are you doing this now?
Right.
What the hell?
Why did I have to be seated next to you?
Why am I in the frame? She pissed. She is in the frame. Okay.
Yes.
Like,
she's mad expressive.
Mad. And then they put Will Smith on Lawrence Fishburne playing Ike Turner. They didn't have to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Oh,
Pursuit
Lord.
of slappiness.
People were having a good time with this. Oh,
there are so many rappers right now that have dropped little snippets of raps that I wish I got them all. But Cashflow Harlem, he is a rapper that tells stories.
Okay.
And he had 2 videos by the time I saw him last night, using two videos.
Oh, wow.
Okay. 2 songs. One of Men in Black, and then he used the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. 2 great masterpieces.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yes, Cashflow Harlem. But he also has I love following him because I love his rap because he tells a story.
Yeah.
His rap always tells a story. And then we have Things You Don't Talk About. Bruno. Okay. This is the one. This is the one, the picture of Jada.
Oh no.
Will, I'm not impressed. Tupac would have shot him.
Oh no.
That's the one that took me out. I'm like, Dag, you wanted to protect your woman. This ain't protecting her.
Yeah.
Because imagine being in such a spotlight that just going to your phone can cause you that much stress that your hair is falling out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because alopecia, now I know some people that suffer through it. And actually I know another content creator. She actually, she is bald as well. She has a channel that called Yes, I Am Bald. And she talks about it. She's also a reseller. Actually, I'll shout her out. Her name is A Reseller's Passion. Okay. That's what she goes by. You can find her on Instagram. She is bald and she talks about going through alopecia. And one of the things that triggers is stress. Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine she's under quite a bit of stress.
This ain't helping.
Yeah.
Now, also in the same token though, even though I know it was a joke, that he was like, can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2.
Yeah.
I think Jada would do really well in that part.
I think she would too.
I think she would.
I don't know, maybe about 10 years ago. she's getting up in age, you know.
Well, you know how they want to do.
Yeah. But I think you know, the Will that we saw was someone who is fed up, maybe possibly with the media. If you saw his interview with Gayle King, you know, there is a clip where she's talking about the infidelities, and he's like, there are no infidelities. There's no infidelities. And it's like, okay, so this is kind of how you guys talk about your marriage, or is this how you talk about your marriage to yourself? Like, it's kind of weird with it. And I think what we're seeing is, celebrities, they take a lot. You know what I mean? Yes. They get a lot. They take a lot, though.
Yes.
And I can't, I imagine that people, I Google myself to see so what if you're like Will Smith and Jada, and you Google yourself and you see, all these memes about August Alsina, all these memes about how she's been in love with Tupac the whole time.
Him and like this. I mean, when he came out with the Entanglement song.
Oh my goodness.
He came out with an Entanglement song.
Yeah.
And the song featured Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Rick Ross took them words and entangled them all up in their business.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, you knew the rap in the song was about her.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're one of their kids, I think about his children, even though they're not kids,
right.
But I mean, growing up in the public eye, you're not famous, but your parents are. Both of them. It's not even like some kids in Hollywood, their mom is famous or their dad is famous. Both of their parents are famous, so their world is nothing like how we grew up. At all.
But they're part of the brand too.
Exactly.
I mean, like I said, their family is the brand. That includes Willow and Jaden, and then there's Will's other kid. I can't remember his name, unfortunately, but his first wife.
His first, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's kind of smart. I feel like he'd be like, I ain't for all this. Like,
right. Yeah.
I get, to me, without knowing him or just seeing him on camera and him in other interviews, he seems the most well-adjusted.
He does seem the most
well-adjusted. And I think it could be because one parent was famous, one wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas he had to live in a realer world than the one that his siblings grew up in.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like his mom wasn't famous when he was little. People know who she is now because she's been on, reality shows.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah,
his mom wasn't, I know who his wife was.
Yeah, me neither.
I know his wife. I ain't know her name. I know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that for.
Yeah, exactly.
I know who Jada is.
Yeah. And knew that before they even got together. We knew who Jada was. Yeah.
Exactly.
She was successful in her own right.
Of
but
course.
That's why they were the power couple. They were this beautiful Black couple, doing things like, their kids were gorgeous. I mean, it was just they were relationship goals, just like the one that
right.
said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And even still, this, to me, I don't think this hurts their brand. I think it's for the other camp who are like, he's defending his woman. This supports it. It's like, okay.
That's what you're saying there.
Yeah.
I do think there may be a shift though, because the one thing about the Black community, we forgive real early.
Oh yeah, we do forgive.
Okay. Yeah. And I really didn't think it was going to be the whole uproar that it was. When I originally saw it, my mind went to the two uncles fighting at the cookout.
Yeah.
That's what's in our culture. We have a little cookout. You got two uncles that said a few words and they might slack here, smack. But at the end of the night, they both drinking beers together.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you're like, they fighting again.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I didn't really take it the way it hit the news cycle. Like literally when I turned on the morning news, that was first before the war in Ukraine.
Right. Yeah, definitely. They could have bombed, and we wouldn't have known because we'd have been talking about Will and Jada and Chris.
And there's some other things going on in our universe right now. Yeah. Like we have a Supreme Court justice whose wife may have been part of January 6th planning. We ain't talking about it.
Right. We got a lot going on. Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion, that's the couple
Will situation is way more important than that.
Right. Because really, that's way more important. That we might have someone that is on the Supreme Court making decisions for everyday life for you and me, but their wife is involved in some underhanded stuff.
Yes.
But,
yes.
we ain't talking
almost treasonous. I mean, that January 6th thing could have really went left. I mean, as left as it did go, it could have went further.
It went too left, in my opinion. Yes, it should never even gotten to that point. That's a whole nother. But
this is the other one other point I wanted to make about Will and Chris Rock. Will Smith is supremely likable, right?
Yes.
And Chris Rock is likable, but not so as much. Chris Rock, you have the alternative. His marriage was not successful.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I didn't like about him?
What?
All right. So he I don't know if it was him or just the wife, but they adopted a child.
Yeah.
They went through a divorce. And he said, I ain't paying child support because that ain't my kid.
Right. But they adopted a child together.
His own brother. Now, I believe the child is somewhat related to his wife.
Okay.
So that's where his thought process was. TMZ got his brother coming off a plane because his brother is a comedian too.
Right.
Tony,
yeah.
Okay. And he was like, my brother knew that's his kid. He was like, I'm Uncle Tony to that kid.
Right.
That's his kid.
Yeah.
It's just legal maneuvers, which I believe he lost.
Right.
And I know you pay attorneys to do what they're supposed to do. But the fact that you wanted to exclude a child that is your child, regardless of
from
you
support, right?
From support, that's a little. I don't like that. It leaves me a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, and I've read some articles about him in the past that kind of portray him as a little weird, as far as like a little demanding, a little prima donna-ish, behind the scenes. So, I mean, I already had that kind of view of him. I know when he does like monologues and when he does hosting, and even in his stand-up, he can be very critical, but it's funny. He's a comedian. I would expect nothing less.
Right.
Compared to Will Smith, let's say prior to the slap,
right.
I definitely, I mean, Will Smith is a comedian. He's not a stand-up comedian.
Right.
A lot of people say, well, he should have thought on his feet, but and came back with a witty reply. But, I don't know Will Smith that way. I know him as a good actor and a comedian, comic songs and stuff like that.
Right.
But you can spend hours writing that material and you have other inputs.
Right.
He's a personable person where, like, when we've seen him, but he's always on. You know what I mean?
Right.
He is never off brand.
And that's
He's
not
always
easy.
On the brand of Will Smith, my family. I'm an actor. I'm
entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm happy.
Because he's producing things.
Yeah.
Like he's not just an actor. He got a whole brand.
Yes.
He's producing things. So he's doing stuff. Like
he's doing stuff. Yeah.
It's sad because, like, even if he wasn't happy, he still could have just booed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, boo would have got him to shut up.
Yeah.
Chris would have like, oh, we don't like that joke. All right, moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the physical aspect of it is really what's concerning, because I mean, like when someone gets physical, you're violating someone's personal space. It's aggressive. It's violent. We don't know him like that, and I think there is a kind of like dissonance that people are experiencing, because I want to still like Will Smith. I'm trying to give him an out.
I know. Well, he's the homeboy. He's the hometown favorite.
Right. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania.
Right.
We're not that far from. Well, I'm
right.
not. But, we didn't grow up that far from Philly.
Right. Exactly.
When people ask me where I'm from, it's just so much easier to say Philly.
Right. Yes. I would say like outside of Philly. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know the little town that we grew up in, but they know Philly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to root for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll still have love out here.
Oh, definitely.
He'll still have love.
I think he will still. I'm curious to see you got me thinking. I'm curious to see the Red Table Talk, and it will have record numbers.
Of course,
it may break the internet depending on how
it's going to.
It's going to, because everybody wants to know why. We know them for being candid to some degree about their relationship and their life. So a lot of people are going to tune in thinking that they're going to get an insight onto what happened. But there's one thing I want to point out too with his acceptance speech and the fact that he made excuses for his behavior. That's what I saw. One big excuse for his behavior. Oh, I'm protected. This person protected. And that's a red flag for me, because I would have, if he had done such soul searching and he was talking to his people at the Oscars, then he should have apologized to Chris Rock, because
I agree.
Regardless of what was said, his reaction was over the top. He should have apologized, even if he didn't necessarily mean it. But then maybe he's like, I'm a man of my word or whatever. But I really feel like there's a problem. There's an issue there if he can't see that what he did to Chris Rock personally was wrong. Forget the Academy and the fans. What you got?
No, I'm like, I thought I heard a bus, and I'm like,
oh,
the bus don't come this early.
It's
not. It's just a loud vehicle. I'm like, the bus don't come this early for my kid.
Yeah.
However, my son knows the door is always unlocked. He walks right in. He knows the rules.
Yes.
So, but
But so that's the one thing where I feel like, okay, we didn't grow from, not yet anyway, we didn't grow from the experience by the end of the show, by the time he was doing his acceptance speech, enough to say, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I would have respected him a lot more if he'd have done that. I mean, what he said was great, but it wasn't enough in my opinion. And the fact that he totally neglected, looked over, did not mention Chris Rock, he's still angry. Like he's still upset, so there's that's the one red flag, the one thing where it's like I would feel better. And I think Chris, again, even though, like I said, if I had to vote on who I like more, it would be Will Smith. Chris, I'm glad he did not file charges, and I feel like but I was watching Judge Joe Brown on the Dana on I think it's the Dana show. Okay. And he was saying that even if Chris doesn't press charges, the DA could still press charges because it was violent. Yeah. So he's like,
that normally is kind of reserved for domestic violence cases, which technically this kind of is.
It was, yes.
However, he has enough money and influence; he could pay that off.
Yeah.
So to speak. You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah. Well, we will see what happens with this. I think it's going to I don't want to say mess up his brand, but I think that his brand is smart enough and the people that he has around him that can learn to use this to his advantage.
Oh, definitely. All press is good press.
Right. Because now he could take this and go a whole nother angle. And like I see so many different things in my head. Like I see, the next like BET award show. Okay, they could have some black ushers out there, next to him, and be like, "That's just for you, Will."
Right.
Don't they here to take control? Okay, and then you have Chris Rock come out with 2 black ushers. The
security squad.
He's like, I never felt so safe. And then he could also go a route of, I had an emotional outburst on this stage. And then they could do a bit with Chris Rock, and use that as a tool to start a conversation, about mental health, about being your true self. There's so many different avenues that
black male interaction. Look at
how Denzel, like I posted, because I decided on my platforms that I wasn't going to post funny stuff because I didn't feel the situation was funny.
Right.
Now talking to you, I'm gonna post some memes because we are ha ha he he, we friends. But on my platforms where I present my professional image, the one thing that I posted was the quote that he said in his acceptance speech, which was what Denzel said to him, which was, "At your highest moment, be careful, because that's when the devil comes for you." I really took that to heart.
Yes.
Because Denzel was literally up for the same award, Nikki.
Yeah.
And he took that man to the side and was like, bruh, come together.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry said, come together.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Even Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
In his whiteness.
Right.
They come together because there's a whole nother
side to this. There's a whole
racial component we didn't even talk about.
I think Bradley's from the area.
Well, he likes. There's a whole racial component that I'm not even going to talk about because let Chris Rock have been Christopher somebody else.
Right. Let that have been Jerry Seinfeld.
Would he have made it to a seat?
Yeah. No.
Well, I don't think. Well, see, and this is another thing. I'm going to say this and probably stop talking about it. This is what makes me mad about Chris Rock. This is what makes it hard to be on his side. Okay. Yeah. There was I don't know if it's a show or conversation between Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld, and like another comedian. And they were talking about using the N-word. And Chris Rock was like, oh, the N-word can be funny if you use it right, blah, 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 blah. Jerry Seinfeld had to say, the N-word is never funny.
Mm.
And let me tell you, I am not like one of these, oh, Jerry Seinfeld is smart. He's a good comedian. Don't you know after that, when Seinfeld happens to be on, when I turn the channel, I will let it sit on the TV?
Yeah.
Only because of that one statement. The Jewish guy had to tell the black guy the N-word ain't funny.
Right. Yeah.
And that's it. That sat with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wow, he had to say, he was like, nah, that word ain't never funny.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and the way he said it, like Chris was all like extra, like, yeah, it could be funny, yada yada. And the other comedian that was sitting there, like, yeah, it could be funny. He was like, and he was just very stoic, like, that word is never funny.
Yeah. Well, remember the history with Michael Richard going up with his expletives. He's probably like, that almost hurt my brand.
Right? You don't mess me up. You don't mess up my money.
The N-word is never funny. Never.
Right. Never. Now, even if he don't mean it, he was smart enough to say it on camera.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
He was smart enough to say it on camera, even if he don't mean it. So
yes.
But I think I'll say this. If you're watching on one of our platforms, leave comments. Tell us how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
If you are listening to us, write to us. Tell us how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this was smart for his brand? And let us know what you think and what you feel, because this is going to be an ongoing conversation, because this is going to be ongoing.
Yeah, it's going to draw out.
It's going to happen. He's going to go away for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do Red Table Talk and go back away for a couple months, and then he's going to keep coming back. You know, so it's business. So we're going to always talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say this is probably our last show for this season?
Do we have one more?
This is the last day in March.
Oh goodness gracious.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So we are going on hiatus.
Woohoo!
Okay.
It sounds more exciting than it actually will be.
We got stuff to do. We got children. They get ready to go on spring break.
I know, right? Don't remind me. One of my kids is already on spring break.
They're already on spring break, right?
Yeah.
So we moms, and so we are going to take our break. We will try, and I say try because I can't guarantee. I know I will at least put one show out. Best of show of best of clips of things that we talked about. You never know. Maybe if something happens, we might come back just to talk about that.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee it. Okay?
We got to check our schedules.
You can't guarantee
I got a free moment.
Right. Now, if we get some sponsors right, we'll come back.
Right.
If sponsors want to act right, we'll come back. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just saying. All right. So we want to thank you guys for being around for this conversation. Thank you for all the support. We want to thank all the listeners. We have a lot more new listeners, all of our international listeners. Thank you. Thank you for
a comment today. That was awesome.
Right. We got comments. Like we just want to thank you guys for being part of this conversation, part of our Entrepremommy world, and understand you don't have to be Entrepremommy to listen to us. Just understand we're going to talk about business. So you got anything you need to plug?
No, before you cut out, do you want to mention about our shout out?
Girl, I thought we were going to talk about salty and bitter. Okay.
I'm just saying, all press is good press. You know what I mean?
Right. Because we are clout chasers.
That's right.
We definitely are clout chasers.
Right.
Salty and bitter. Okay, for those who don't know what we're talking about saucy and honey. Which I will say, I don't follow them and I'm not subscribed, but they have been dropping video after video after video.
Yes. I go and check on their channel every once in a while. Yeah.
Well, I don't even look at it. It just comes in my feed because I've watched it.
Because you watched it, right.
YouTube thinks I care about them. I don't. But YouTube thinks I do. And I'm like, wow, they dropped another video?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, they really dropped videos. I wonder, which makes me think other things, but we'll go into that later. So, but you got anything you need to plug, Nikki?
Yeah. No. I'm beefing up my my podcasting on Live Love Lux, and I've been going live probably like 2 to 3 times a week, and I like that, and I think I'm going to continue to do that. So if you look up Live, Love, Lux on any podcasting platform, that's where you can find me. If you care, if you want, because we're not talking about, well, I don't talk about business too much, or not too much about pop culture, strictly like personal development, manifestation mindset stuff. I talk about what goes on in my life and how to improve your life. It is for other people. I give out tips and advice on how to improve your life. So I will probably be doing that more. So that's where you can find me. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm at Home with Nicole, and that's also how I disseminate information about my other podcast, Live, Love, Lux. So at Home with Nicole, if you want to reach out to me. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this has been another fun-filled episode of Entrepremommies. And remember, we are the mommies that handle business.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
At Entrepremommies, we share from experience.